Aloha, and welcome to this episode of the Hawaii Smooth Jazz Connection. I am your host, Gwen Harris. My guest today is an award-winning vocalist, songwriter, and saxophonist who started his career in the music industry as a child when he could belt out Sittin on the dock of the bay with the passion of Otis Redding. He has grown into one of the most exceptional vocal talents in the music industry, as well as an amazing saxophone. My guest has played all around the country at notable venues, private events, and festivals. His bilingual skills have garnered him the honor of being the vocalist of choice for the pre-production team of world-renowned Latin superstar Luis Miguel. He's backed guest stars on The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson and performed jingles for Dole, Pringles, Toyota, and Honey Nut Cheerios. I am so happy to have him here with me today. Let's welcome Mr. Darryl Walker to the show. Aloha, Darryl. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am well. I am so glad to have you here on the show. I know I've been following you for years, but the first time I met you and your beautiful wife was, I believe it was in Oxnard. Was it back in September?
That's right. It was at the Oxnard Jazz Festival.
Yes, yes. And as always, you do an amazing job. So how did you, in the intro, I talk about you getting your start by singing Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. But what really, that must have been so cute with you doing that. What really got you into the music industry?
Honestly, it was a combination of influence from my mother and other family members. The house was always full of music. My mom was an incredible singer who never really decided to go for it as a career choice, but she did do it very well. She even made a record with one of those guys from the past. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to think. He was a real crazy producer that his name will come to me later, but she pretty much was the reason. And then as I went through school, started with the junior high marching band and the high school marching band, and I was in all kinds of groups during those years. Then I fast forward and went to the military, and I took a saxophone with me over there and played the whole time I was in Germany, and then came back and decided to go into music full time. And the rest is history. I scored the first Motown record deal with a group called Identity Crisis, and from there we just built on that. That was a group that was primarily a R&B band, but we did our R&B in Spanish and English. The funny thing is, I'm always confused with Puerto Rican or Cuban, but I'm actually Creole. So, my family comes
Wow.
from Louisiana, but we do this thing for so long that, we got really good at it. After that group ended, I started working with two members that came from the group, one of which is Salo Loyo. He's now a resident of Mexico. He was born in Mexico. He moved back there. But he brought me in on this Luis Miguel pre-production thing because they were writing songs for him and they needed someone to sing like him and to give it the same passion and fire that he would, because it really helps with the song pitch if you can have the artist actually imagining themselves singing the song. And his comment to them was, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" But he did record 3 of the songs that we submitted, which is really great. So
Well,
I've been doing this for a long time.
oh, yeah, I can tell. First, I want to say thank you for your service because I did not know you were in the military. So
Oh,
you are my military brother.
thank you.
So thank you for your service with that. Um, Now, what is your favorite genre of music to play? I know you play it all, but what is your favorite genre to play?
Wow, that's not an easy question because things cross over these days. Even in the smooth jazz realm, it's really heavily influenced by R&B. So I would have to say jazz first, and then R&B second, soul third, and blues fourth. with a little pop and a little bit of soft rock thrown in.
Now, who is your musical, I say, influence?
That's so many people. We don't even have time to discuss all that. I'll pick the top few. How about
Okay.
that? From a musician point of view, it would be people like George Duke, people like John Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley, Quincy Jones. You know, the really the creme de la creme of the music world. Um, some of which we've lost recently. Um, but as far as vocalists go, the top award would go to Al Jarreau, and
Mm.
then following him would be Luther Vandross, Peebo Bryson, Jeffrey Osborne. Um, there's just so many incredible artists that have influenced what I do that it would take us a full hour just to talk about that.
I have to break here and I have to say, if you have not heard Mr. Darryl Walker sing, play saxophone, see him perform, you need to. You need to go see him. And we're going to talk about that later because you can tell us where you're going to be. So, might make a surprise appearance, but you have got to see him play. And his voice is amazing. And we're going to get to that.
Thank you.
We're going to get to that in just a second. Who would you like? How would I say this? Who would you like to collaborate with? You've already collaborated with so many people, I'm sure, and one we're going to talk about later. But who would you like to collaborate with?
Wow, there's a few of those. At the top of the list, I would have to say it would be nice to do a project with Terry Steele. He's a friend of mine that goes back several years. A person I really admire because he's a great vocalist and he's written for Luther Vandross and a host of others. He toured with Hiroshima for a while, and he's just a great person. He's one of those artists that is very humble and he writes his tail off. His ideas are amazing when he comes up with lyrics and chordal structure for a song. That's one. Another would be, oh my goodness, there's just too many to mention. It's another one of those hard questions because there's so many, so many. It'd be great to work with Quincy Jones. That's yeah.
Oh, well, I always say you always speak something into existence.
That's a fact. Oh,
And
here's an answer to both questions, the previous and the one you just asked. Michael McDonald.
oh,
That's a person that I would, bar none, love to sing with or work with or collaborate with because that is what I would call one of the most iconic voices of our time. Instantly recognizable, the best quality on all kinds of recordings. You can hear him either in the background or as a lead vocalist. His piano playing is amazing. And I've seen him live numerous times here in San Diego. But yeah, that would be one.
and I can see that. Again, you never know. One of these festivals you're at, it may be surprise appearance. You may walk up on stage and you do something together. I'm a very optimistic person, so hey, you never know. Now, your wife, your beautiful wife, she's a musician as well.
Leilani, yes, she is.
And she plays saxophone. And we won't get into the story of how y'all met because y'all were just too cute when y'all got engaged on Facebook a few years ago. I was following that story all the way to the wedding time. But
we were, that whole thing, we were beyond over the moon happy because we had both come out of some just tumultuous situations and learned and grew from those experiences. And by the time we actually became an item, we were ready. You know what I mean? We had paid our dues and we were ready to move forward powerfully and just to be happy. And it's just nice to have such a great person,
Yes. Now, she plays saxophone as well. Now, do you two ever play together
Oh,
or
sure,
practice
sure.
together or
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
fight over who's going to do what? Who's going to play this part?
I usually, you know what, it's funny, because she has more knowledge than I do in terms of the Great American Songbook songs, uh,
Mhm.
the standards. She was raised on that. She worked in a family band when, so from the time she was a little kid all the way through till she left for chiropractic school. Um, she, I let her call my songs when it comes to things that she thinks I should sing, or when she wants to give me her input. And I'm resistant sometimes only because that's just me fighting within myself. But I always relent. I give in because she knows more than I do about that. And usually when her ideas come to fruition, it's amazing because she just knows. She has a feeling and she goes with it and she says, you should do this. And then we do it. She's also my video person. Every video I release, she's either behind the camera or producing it and editing it. She just got so many skills. It's unbelievable. She's a flautist. She's a saxophonist. She sings a little bit. Uh, she's well rounded. It's just
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
And do y'all make a perfect couple? A
Well,
perfect.
we try to be. Our main focus is communication and respect, mutual respect. I think the mutual respect aspect of what we have is the reason why we come across the way we do, because I would never speak to her in a way that would be considered disrespectful or hurtful,
Mhm.
because that kind of stuff creates resentment, and then down the line it can end a relationship. So we just try to keep it respectful and keep everything on the up and up, and we just love spending time together. And that, to me, if you like someone genuinely as a person, then the rest is easy. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. Um, Now I want to talk about your new song
Hmm.
that was released that
Okay.
I absolutely love.
Oh, thank you.
Love it, love it, love it. I love the song from the jump before you even redid it, you know? But your spin on it, and for my viewers, I'm talking about Ribbon in the Sky. Mr. Walker here does an amazing version of it, along with, and I just found out, Richard Elliott is on that as well. So why don't you tell us how you and Richard got together to do that song?
It's really funny. There was this discussion going back and forth between my wife and her sister, Camilla, Richard's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, they kept saying, you guys need to do something. You guys should do something. And for me, I always thought, well, that's fine, but I know he's a busy guy and I'm always all over the place. So we just have to nail one another down and actually do it. Then the thought came to do this song. And I thought, wow. And I called Richard and I said, hey, what do you think about doing? Oh, that's a good choice. He said, yeah, let's do that. So it came together pretty fast because I already had a producer in mind, Kevin Flournoy, who I've worked with off and on since the 90s in different situations, live bands, in the studio, his projects, my projects. He's produced stuff for me in the past, and it all turned out incredibly well. Um, but Kevin is one of those guys that he has such an intuitive nature about doing music when it comes to producing someone. And his skill as an engineer, as a keyboard player, as a composer, as an arranger, these things all come together and they become this incredible thing, such as the Ribbon in the Sky arrangement you heard. Once he heard I wanted to do that song, he was just, oh yeah, yeah, I have it, I have it. So in a few days' time, he got back to me and sent me a rough mix of the idea he came up with, and I said, yes, this is it. This is it. I said, oh, and by the way, I'm going to have Richard Elliott play the tenor sax part on this. He went, what?
Wow.
What? He said, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
So we went to 3 studios and did all the other stuff. We had Chad Wright on drums, Munyongo Jackson, who is Stevie Wonder's percussionist, on there as well. We had Kevin playing the keyboards. Um, we brought in Sekou Bunch, played with the who's who of all the R&B and jazz music. Sekou's one of the best bass players on the planet. We had him. We had Darryl Crooks on guitars. Unfortunately, we lost him. He's now living with God. We brought in who else did we have on this thing? Oh, Ronald Doc Holliday, who is one of the world's best vocal coaches. I brought him in to get me prepared to deliver the song the way I deliver the song. He has a unique way of doing exercises and things to get you prepared for a good performance. And he also has a school, he teaches voice. And he got so into what we were doing that he asked, "Can I come back there and sing vocals?" I said, "Man, get back here." So we both sang together on that as well. And the result was just unbelievable. It was so impactful for me that I had to hire Jason Goroff to do the music production, the
yes.
music, the marketing. And because of his efforts and the quality of the track, it's at number 69 on smoothjazz.com's top 100, which is really cool. I'm happy about that.
Yes, it is. I've been following it. I've definitely been following it. And since we were just talking about that, can you give us just a little snippet of Ribbon in the Sky?
Sure. Oh, so long for this night I pray that a star would guide you my way to share with me this special day. The ribbons in the sky for our love. If alive, may I touch your hand, and if please, may I once again, so that you too will understand. There's a ribbon in the sky for our love.
Woo! That was a cappella. That was without the music. So, my viewers, you really have to go listen. Go buy it. Go listen to it. Because I have it on autoplay. For real.
Everyone's going to be happy to hear that.
It's just a whole different vibe with that. Has Stevie Wonder heard it yet? Have you heard from Stevie?
I have not, but his camp gave the authority to go ahead and do it. But I hope he likes it, because we tried not to go too far away from what people recognize the song to be. It's important to do that. I think when you do a cover, it's really a good thing when you can honor the original intent, the original artist's intent, especially if it's a composer, and just make it your own, but at the same time, don't take it to a point of obscurity where people can't recognize what it is. There's too much noise going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are just adding way too much to certain things. And I'm one of those people that likes to record in a way where there is pause and space so that the song can really reach people. It doesn't sound like a bunch of confusion. You know what I mean? It's cohesive.
Well, it reached me. It reached me. It reached me, and I'm sure it's going to reach everyone else. Because everybody, you need to go out there and get that song and listen to it. Now, this next question, because we're winding down. Told you it's going to go by quick, right? Mm-hmm. This next question I ask all of my artists, because I think it's a very important question. What advice would you give a new artist, musician, vocalist, whatever? What advice would you give that person coming into this industry? Because this industry is very tough.
It's tougher than ever now, because there is no longer such a thing as artist development, which the labels used to do. They used to take someone under their wing and cultivate them into a great performer.
Mhm.
whether it be in the studio or for live performances. Now, an artist pretty much has to wear all the hats. You have to not only be a great creator and a great performer, but you have to be a business person too, because you need to understand how to protect your rights. You need to understand how to present yourself professionally. And the best thing to do as a person just entering this craziness we call show business is to know your craft, first of all. Do whatever studying and whatever scholastic, educational type thing that you can do on your way up, and continue to do that as you become a solo performer, a group performer, whatever the story is. Always learn, aspire to know more than you knew yesterday. The other thing is to always be prepared. Um, you want to, if someone calls you to do a session or to play a live show, know what you're supposed to know before you get there. Don't go to a rehearsal and try to learn the material at the rehearsal. Know the material before you get to the rehearsal. That way, no one's time is wasted. You're professional about what you're doing, and you can add to what's going on, and things will move faster, and you'll sound better, and you'll be more cohesive on stage when you actually perform. And the last thing I would say is to be professional. Never be late. The old axiom goes, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. So that'd be the best thing to do. Always be on time and be dressed appropriately. If it's a situation that calls for a suit or for some formal manner of dress, have that. Be ready to go. If it's something more relaxed, like say this kind of shirt or and some slacks and nice shoes, do that. But don't ever show up looking like you crawled out of a laundry bag with clothes, jeans, tennis shoes, going onto someone's stage, because you're not only representing yourself, you're representing the establishment whenever they hire you to perform. You want to leave the best impression you can because you only get one chance to make a first impression.
Wow, that is amazing, amazing advice. I wish I could just clip that and just put that in the video in itself about about new artists, because that's amazing advice. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, what things do you have on the schedule coming up that we need to look out for?
At this point, on Sunday, I'll be at Humphrey's Backstage Lounge, appearing with Roger Friend and a bunch of other great artists that will be performing on Sunday. Then from there, I go to, let's see, Laguna Festival of the Arts here in Laguna, California is going to bring me onto one of their festivals to do a Stevie Wonder show, an entire 90-minute Stevie Wonder review, which is going to be great. I'm going to develop
Wow.
my favorite songs and do that. I routinely perform at Spaghettini in Seal Beach, which has now become a world-renowned smooth jazz slash everything venue. They do a lot of different genres there. Um, the staff is amazing. Carrie and Laurie, the owners, and Q, the musical director who's responsible for bringing all the talent in, has all the relationships. They're great. They've been treating me well for 14 years. uh,
Wow.
I'll be going back there. And I usually post on Facebook what's happening, because right now things are still kind of up in the air with this industry, and people are recovering from COVID. And when I say people, I mean promoters, um, venue owners, that kind of thing. But those are the next two things that are happening.
Well, awesome, awesome. I'm gonna try and get to one of those. I'm gonna try and get there because even though I'm here in Hawaii, it's a little bit easier for me to get to California than it is all the way to the East Coast.
East Coast. Oh, yeah.
But I thank you so much. Our time is, I told you it goes by real quick. I could talk with you for an hour because I have more questions. But, our time has come to an end. Maybe I'll do a part two with you.
It'd be my pleasure.
But I thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Thanks for asking.
I hope to get you here to Hawaii, to perform over here for us on the island, because that would be amazing as well.
Oh, that would be great. There's some great musicians to pull from over there too. Typically when I perform in places that are far away, I don't try to take a whole band with me because that's typically it's very expensive and it's not really possible. But I like to send my music ahead to a pickup band, you know, a local group of guys who are ready to do their thing, and we just do a rehearsal and go on and do the show, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna have to work on that. We'll definitely have to work on getting you over here, because we do have some great musicians over here. So that won't be a problem to get for you. So thank you for that.
Outstanding. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do something with Michael Paulo in August too. He's doing something here in La Costa.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'll be doing that with him as well.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, I'm glad you told me because I guess I might have to try and come to that one then.
That's when it's in August. Yep.
That would be awesome. But again, Darryl, I thank you so much for being here on the show.
You're welcome. Very welcome.
Hope to bring you back again. We'll do a part 2.
Okay. Just say when.
To my guests, thank you for tuning in. And until next time, stay blessed. Aloha.
Thank you so much for watching Think Tech Hawaii. If you like what we do, please like us and click the subscribe button on YouTube and the follow button on Vimeo. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and donate to us at thinktechhawaii.com. Mahalo.